So getting started, finding that seat. You can remove the flesh from the sit bone so that you're nice and grounded and solid in that seat. Roll the shoulders up, back, and down. Palms can face down or up, whichever you prefer. And then just gently closing the eyes. As you're here, we often stick out the front ribs, and that natural curve, we always exaggerate because we're lifting the chest and sitting nice and tall, but we do forget that the lumbar spine is much more flexible than the upper spine. So tucking that tailbone, you're going to draw that tailbone towards the heels and then bring that core in. Bring those ribs in, roll the shoulders down, but then you're not just going to lift from the diaphragm, you're going to lift from the sternum up. So when you think about lifting from the sternum, that also lifts the diaphragm, okay? And then once you do that, you can kind of just readjust that tailbone one more time. And then you're in that nice alignment. Each vertebrae is stacked. You got the lumbar spine, thoracic, cervical, all nicely in alignment. It's easier to lift out of the waist once we engage that core as well. We're not going to over exaggerate the posture, pull out a rib or a back muscle. So again, once you find that stillness, so you did all those adjustments, a lot's going on at when we first get into the pose. But when you do find that stillness, closing the eyes, slightly tucking the chin down, bringing it in towards the chest, lengthening that back of the neck. And now find the breath. Tune into that inhalation, exhalation. Just feeling the flow of the natural breath. Not holding on to anyone's thoughts. Noticing your thoughts and then just letting them go. Letting go of the day, of the moments before the arrival on the mat. Allow this time to be for you. Taking the time, taking what you need for yourself. Listening to the breath. Listening to the body. We'll just do a Ujjayi breath tonight. So exhaling all the air to the lungs. We'll start from the base of the spine, rise up through the belly with that inhalation, expand the rib cage out, bringing the breath into the diaphragm, chest, throat, right to the top of the inhalation. Hold there. And then slowly exhale the same way you brought that breath in, bring that breath out. So crown of the head, throat, chest, diaphragm, ribs, base of the spine. And then inhalation again, nice deep inhalation in. Feel the breath going in through the body, the expansion of the body, right to the top of the inhalation as far as you can go. Pause, hold there. As you're holding that breath, do a nice little body scan. See if you're holding tension anywhere. Exhale, release. Release that tension as you bring the breath back down through the body, feeling everything come back down to center. And then bring that breath in again, right from the base of the spine. Nice deep inhalation in, rising up. All the way up through the body as far as you can take your breath. And again, pause there, hold. Notice if you're holding tension in the facial muscles, tongue, Notice if it's at the roof of the mouth, your eyebrows are frowning. Notice it, and then exhale, release, let go of the tongue, let go of the eyebrows. One last breath. Nice deep inhalation in, rising all the way up, right to the top of the inhalation, past the chest, throat. Pause. Again, the shoulders at the top of the ear or by the ears. Let go as you release that exhalation down. And then return to a normal breath. So you're no longer controlling the breath. You're just allowing it to flow naturally. It might be deeper. That inhalation might be a little bit stronger. Exhalation is longer. All good things. May notice that the breath has changed naturally as you become aware of it. Just like the body, when you become aware of the posture while you're standing in the grocery line, as you get a little bit more aware, body awareness, you notice things that you do when we're not really focusing on it. And dropping the chin towards the chest, lengthening the back of the neck. You can round the shoulders here. So you're bringing that, scooping that belly in and up and just rounding the spine just ever so gently, not too aggressively, just stretching out the back a little bit here. Open the eyes softly. Gaze is soft. You're gonna bring that upper body back up, right? Stacking those vertebrae. Opening the eyes slowly, keeping that gaze soft. The thoughts are not around, you're just in the moment. Keeping yourself in the moment. If you were sitting on a blanket, remove your blanket. Okay. If your feet are like killing you in this pose, you can take a minute and just stretch one leg back and then the other leg back. And then come back to sit. Just stretch out the legs if needed, or the ankles. Good. All right. So finding that seat again, you're going to take your right hand, place it fingertips tented on the floor. Nice deep inhalation in. Bring that left arm up, and then you're going to exhale over to the right side. You're going to keep pressing that left sit bone down. So you're not going all the way over and it's not going to come with you. You're going to keep pressing it down. We're just stretching right from the waist all the way up through the sides of the torso, right past the fingertips. Okay, so fingertips are nice and long. A slight bend in the elbow if needed, but we're just pressing that left hip to the left side still. Nice deep inhalation in, come up with a lift of the chest. Good, exhale that left arm down. Fingertips, inhale the right arm up. So the fingertips of the left hand are tented just beside the left hip. And then on that exhalation, you're gonna go to the right side, keeping those right fingertips nice and long, feeling that stretch. So you're kind of bringing that weight still into the right hip, feeling that stretch all the way up through the side of the body, arm right through the fingertips. Navel in and up to engage the core. So wake me up, stretch here. Nice deep inhalation in, come up with the lift of the chest. Beautiful. Exhale the arm down. Okay, we're gonna do a little twist. So you're gonna drop down onto your left hip. We'll do left hip. Okay, so you're trying to just drop down like so. Let me know if it's a little bit tricky for you. You can pick up your sit bones and shift them if it's just a little bit too tricky, okay? But you want to slide off those hips, so ever so gently. Then you're gonna take the right hand, palm facing up on the outside of the left leg. Fingertips of the left hand just behind you, tented. You're gonna press those fingertips into the floor, roll that left shoulder back. Okay, so you're lifting that sternum up. Nice deep inhalation in. And then exhale, twist to the left. So then you're gonna press the right hand into the left leg and twist over. Gentle twist here. Don't feel like you have to force it to go so much further. If you're only moving just a little bit, that's okay. It's not an aggressive twist, just a gentle one, waking up the spine, getting into those hips a little bit. And nice deep inhalation in, coming back. Release the hands. You're going to use them to help push yourself up. So hands just come in front. Inhale, lift the hips up. Exhale to the right. Okay, so you're dropping those hips to the right now. Same thing. Left hand, back of the left hand comes outside of the right leg. Fingertips of the right hand just tented beside that right hip or slightly behind. Okay, but I don't want you leaning too far back. Otherwise, you just strain the oblique and the hip, and it's just not good for the next day. Nice deep inhalation in. Lift that chest up. Bring that belly in. And then exhale, twist to the right. Again, gentle twist, looking over the right shoulder. Breathing nice and slow. Smile a little bit. Good. One more nice deep breath in. And then exhale, twist back. Good. Okay, use those hands to, again, help your hips come back to center. Beautiful. Oh, you know what? No. Stay on that. You're going to swing your legs around. My apologies. Shake them out. Good. Bottoms of the feet together, bound angle. We're gonna hold on to the ankles here. You're just gonna bounce those knees. As you're bouncing those knees, you're gonna use your hands and pull the spine straight. So you're lifting one vertebrae at a time, lifting out of the waist, and again, bouncing those knees. Just relaxing the hips. Good. Hands underneath your knees, bring them back to center. Straighten the legs, shake them out. All right. We are gonna get into just some hip openers. I wanna say like bow and arrow, but that's not really the actual yoga name. Maybe it is, but for the English version, but it's more from my kids when I teach kids yoga. So anyways, we are going to grab, and this is where your strap can come in handy if you have one. Honestly, if you don't have one, no worries. But you're gonna hook it around the big toe mound, pinky toe mound, okay? But try it without the strap. I'm just, depending on your flexibility, you may need it when we shoot the leg out, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull that left hip back just behind the upper body as best you can, okay? You're keeping this right leg active. So you're pressing out through that heel, lifting the kneecap, engaging the thigh here. So this leg is stable so that the pelvis stays stable as we move this leg. So when you bring that left leg back, you're gonna straighten it out. This is where you may need the strap, and you can hold on to that strap, especially if you have a hard time reaching for your foot. Use the strap and then just gently pull it back, okay? I don't want you to strain the upper body reaching for your foot or something, okay? So your options are there. Option one, use the strap. You can reach for your foot and it doesn't bug you to straighten the leg like so. Then option two, grab your foot. But we're just moving that hip back and forth out of the hip joint, okay? Getting that rotation, that outer rotation of the hip flexor, and mobility into the hip. I was thinking a lot about the hips today, so you may notice that our class is really around the hips. Yeah, we'll do one more on the left side, and then you're gonna straighten it and hold. And again, this is where the strap might become handy, especially if you do have a hard time straightening this right leg. You can have a slight bend in it, absolutely. Sorry, left leg. But if you do have a hard time reaching and you're kind of rounding and whatnot, use your strap to still keep your alignment so that the back ribs come in, chest lifts, that spine is nice and straight, building that strength. So you can use that strap here. Even if you were using it, even if you weren't using it when we were moving that left leg, use it here now. It does help to pull those back ribs in, drop the shoulders down. You don't get as tired as quickly. Pressing out through both feet. Really good for the core here. If you want, you can lean back slightly. You really engage the core when we lean back a little bit into this pose. Again, your choice. One more nice deep breath in. Good, and then exhale, bend that left knee and hug it into the chest. Okay, you can shake out the body if your back was a little bit sore there. So you're hugging that left leg in. Okay, perfect. You're gonna drop that left knee out. Okay, so you're now in that L-shaped forward fold that we're gonna do. Grab your strap, wrap it around the right foot this time. Okay, you can come back, right back to center with that alignment. You're engaging the core, bringing those back ribs in, shoulders away from the ears. Nice deep inhalation in here. Get that lift. That lift is what's going to help you to hinge from the hips, fold forward on that exhalation. And then walk your hands down the strap or slide them down the leg if you don't have your strap, okay? Drop the chin towards the chest, bring that energy inwards. Feel the stretch through the back of the leg, sides of the body. Again, everybody feels every pose differently. Definitely, each pose has a certain stretch to it. Most of us all feel the same stretch, just either more intense, less intense. We all feel it differently, but some do experience it in different areas of the body, depending on what you do for a living, where you hold your stress. So really breathing into the pose, releasing any tension or tightness. Really nice way to open up the hips and get into that low back. Forward folds are quite straining for the low back, but when you do take one hip or both hips wide, it's a little bit less pressure on that sacrum low back area or sciatic. This is a nice one also for sciatic. And one more nice deep breath in. And exhale, rise up. Beautiful. Okay, release that strap from the foot. Bring this left leg back up and then lengthen it out. Shake your legs out if you need to. Adjust your sit bones. So again, you're sitting nice and tall. If it's too much for the low back, always use your blanket as well. But we are going to go into, I wouldn't use a blanket for this one, but if you have a forward fold and you just reach for your blanket quick. But we're going to do that bow and arrow one again. So you can take your strap around the right foot, inhale it up, and then exhale. So we'll inhale it back, either beside the torso or behind, just depending on the flexibility of that hip. Okay, you're bringing it in and out. Then you can use your hand. So option one was the strap. Option two is the hand. It doesn't have to necessarily reach the foot, even the ankle. Okay, left leg is active, pressing up through the heel, kneecap lifted, thigh engaged, nice and stable in that pelvis. Keep the core nice engaged by bringing the navel towards the spine. Working that hip. And rotating it outwards as you bring it back. So you're getting that rotation the same way as we did our L-shaped forward fold, right? You're getting that same kind of rotation outwards. And great for bringing mobility into the hips. And one more on this side. And then on your next lengthening, and when you lengthen it up, you're gonna hold it there. So this is where you can grab that strap if it's a little bit too intense. Grab that strap. Again, back ribs, we tend to just, this is a lovely, it always feels so good to be here. But I want you to bring those back ribs in and out, chest, sternum lifts. You're lifting from the diaphragm, okay? Doesn't matter how far your leg lifts, okay? I prefer you to focus more on the upper body and lengthening and stacking those joints to protect from injury versus flexibility. But you can hold onto your strap, you can hold onto your foot. Wherever you are, drop the shoulders away from your ears. Breathe. Feel that length through the back of the leg. And then exhale, release. Here you can hug the knee in. You can round the spine if it's kind of, the back was a little bit achy there, holding the leg up. Get that stretch through the back of through the back body. And then when you're ready, you drop that right leg open. Adjust if you need to. I feel like I'm really adjusting here. Keep moving around so you guys see my angles. And then you can grab your strap, wrap it around your left foot. Hold the strap in each hand, and then bring yourself back up to that center point, stacking that spine, lifting out of the waist. Nice deep inhalation in. Get that lift. That lift, like we do with our breath awareness, it gets that expansion, it gets that lift, and then exhale. Release the breath down as you bring yourself forward into that pose. You're releasing those muscles. You're releasing that tension down so that you're able to fold forward a little bit more, creating that space, that freedom for the body to move. So mindfully pressing that right leg down. Sometimes it'll want to pop up depending on the tightness in the hip. Press it down mindfully. So you are engaging this leg, it is active. You can, again, wherever you're at, sliding the hands. If you don't want to use your strap or you don't have one, place your hands on the ground, tucking the chin, bringing that energy again inwards, focusing solely on this position. Feeling the pose, being in the pose. Nice deep breathing here. This is where that ujjayi breath, that yogic breath that we practiced right at the beginning of class, that's where this breath comes in. Nice deep inhalation and scooping that belly up right to the top of the inhalation. Pause there for a moment. Notice where any tension, tightness, and then exhale. Let it go. The same way you went in with the breath, you're going to go right back out. Feel that breath. Follow the breath. Beautiful. One more nice deep breath here. And then exhale, coming out. You can slide the hands back up, let go of your strap. Take your hand underneath the right leg and slide it back down in line with the left. Shake out your legs. All right, Musa / adjust if you need. Okay. Now we're gonna do like modified pitches. Some say a fox pose, square pose. But it's not a lovely pose. But it's so good for your hips. So this will be our last one, I promise, with the hips, and then we'll get into the shoulders. But wonderful, wonderful way to open up the hips, open up that low back. What we're gonna do, I've worked you guys up to it. So the hips are nice and warm, a little bit looser than they were when you first started. So don't get too worried. But we are going to take that left leg. You're going to hold it into as best you can, okay? You're going to bring it into that right elbow crease, okay? So you're kind of holding it like a box square, okay? If it's too much, hold the ankle and the foot, okay, as best you can. You don't have to be right in, you can be out, but you want to hold on to those. You don't want to twist your ankle inwards. You want to flex that foot, especially if you can't get it into the elbow, okay? Then, because when we have it in our elbow, it's nice and supported there. So again, due to flexibility, that doesn't always work for everybody. So when you're here, you're really holding on to that ankle joint, okay? Because you don't want to wreck our ankle joint or anything to do with the foot. And then we're gonna rock from side to side, okay? So if you're wide out here and your leg's not quite into the body, that's okay. You're just gonna go a little slower, a little wider, all it is, okay? Might be a little bit more work. If you need to come out, stop. Okay, if we're here, we're gonna rock a little faster. It's gonna be a little bit less work, I'm gonna say, but you might feel a little bit more, just depends. Okay, if we're here, we're rocking still slowly, but a little bit, our hip joint's just a little bit looser. So we're able to move it a bit freely. So again, wherever you're at, just rocking. And one more, using that breath. And then you're gonna stop, grab the foot, place it down, shake it out. We're gonna go on to the right side. And actually, before we move on to the right side, we are just gonna stretch our back muscles because they're doing just so much work holding our bodies up and holding our legs. We don't realize how heavy our legs are until we have to hold them in the air and then our back's like, oh my gosh. Okay, so here we're just gonna kind of round forward. I'm not gonna worry about alignment. You can round your spine as much as you want here. You're gonna take your feet hip width apart and then you're just gonna flop forward, okay? Drop the head and neck, kind of almost like a bound angle, like a forward bound angle when we bring the bodies of the feet together and we fold forward. We're gonna do the same kind of thing. Just your back or your legs are long, okay? You can reach for your feet, don't have to touch. Drop the head and neck. Round the spine. You can kind of wiggle if you need to. Wiggle the head and neck. Nice deep breath in. Exhale, sigh it out. And one more nice deep inhalation in. Rounding up one vertebrae at a time on that exhalation. Beautiful. If you've popped your legs out a little bit wider than hip width, just bring it in a little bit, that left leg, so it's in line with that front hip bone, okay? And then grab this right leg. So same thing. You're gonna bring that right foot into the elbow crease of the left elbow and rock, okay? Again, wherever you are at, you're gonna hold on to the foot, the ankle joint. Okay, and then you're gonna rock it nice and slow. Wherever you are at. The left leg is nice and long and strong. Pressing out through the left heel, lifting the kneecap. Good. Feel that lovely stretch through the outer hip, hamstring. You're getting that nice rotation in the hip. Good. All right. Hold there one for a moment. And then exhale, release. Shake that leg out. Bottoms of your feet together. Hold on to those ankles. Nice deep inhalation in. And then exhale, hinge from the hips. Round the spine. You can stay here by pressing the elbows into the hips and hanging out. Dropping the chin towards the chest. or you can lower your head towards the feet, rounding the spine. Head. Beautiful. Stay there for a breath. 2. Head. Nice deep inhalation in. Exhale, side out. And then inhale, round up. Bring your knees together. Slide the legs out. Good. All right. So with the right leg, you're going to put it on the bottom. So lean on the bottom. And then you're going to take this left foot and you're going to place it on top of the right leg, just like a box or a square. Okay. Now, if you're like, I'm way up here, no worries. You can always slide a blanket underneath the hip or the sit bones to level yourself out. Okay. But best you can, you're just placing at the park. Sorry, Fletcher's Park. I sent my kids to the playground. Now my husband's like, where are the kids? So we're in box or square pose. One knee, so your one knee, left knee is on top of the right foot, left foot on top of the right knee. Okay, as best you can. You're gonna take the palm of the hand or the base of the palm. You're gonna press it into that fleshy part of the left leg. Fingertips tented behind you, and you're just gonna slightly push it down. Very gently. If it's too much, don't do it. Okay, seriously, back off. It is an intense stretch if you're very tight in your hips. So just be where you are. Okay, not a high expectation here. This is an intense stretch. If this is like an easy peasy stretch for you, bring your elbow to your knee and forward fold a bit. Walk your elbows down. Bring your head down. Wherever you're at. But if you're here, just be here. You're not touching that knee at all. Bring your hands in front of your heart and just sit for a moment. Close your eyes and breathe into that and then come out. Don't have to hold it for very long. Like I said, it's intense. Okay, wonderful hip opener, intense hip opener. That's why we did so many hips before we did this one. I mean, it's like, oh, if I threw you guys just right in this, you'd probably be like, oh my gosh, why are you doing this? Nice deep inhalation in. Exhale. Coming out of the pose, however you went in the pose, coming out the same way you went in, picking up this left leg, shaking those legs out for a moment, but we're going to go to the other side. Okay. And then I promise you we'll get into some shoulders. So left leg should be on the bottom. If you did opposite to what I said, no worries. I was a little distracted at the moment when I was first getting into it. But left leg should be on the bottom, right leg should be on the top, left foot somewhat in line with the knee and vice versa, okay? So wherever you're at, you can totally just be here, bring your hands in front of your heart, especially if it's super intense and it's even just hard to bring that upper body up. Sometimes if it's too intense, our whole body just goes to where it is intense and we just want to be there and we just want to like, scream. So even if it's too intense to bring that body upwards, focus on lifting out of the waist, bringing the hands in front of the heart, okay? Brings a little bit a distraction to the opening. Again, right hand presses into that fleshy part of the right leg, fingertips tented. Start here before you fold forward, just open up that hip flexor a little bit more, okay? And then when you find that, okay, I'm good there. If you want to go further, you can take your elbows, press them down, or walk it down right to the floor if it's comfortable. here, palms facing down, pressing into the floor. This is a nice one too. If you can, kind of, you're like, I can go further, I can. But it's still really intense. Pressing those hands into the floor, fingers spread wide. And then just as you press those hands back, you press your sit bones back into the ground. So you kind of slide that tailbone down. You feel it's a slight movement, it's not too crazy, but it's a good one too. And then just breathing. Again, bringing that energy inwards, drawing that chin towards the chest really helps to relax the face. Helps you to let go of the outer world and just kind of bring that awareness inwards, focus on what you need versus on what the mind or outer world needs, I guess. One more nice deep breath in. And then exhale, slide the hands up if you were forward, picking that leg up. If at any point you came out early, I totally understand. Shake your legs out. Good. All right. So just clearing off your mat if you have any props. We're gonna cross the ankles and we're gonna just fold forward a little bit, pushing our sit bones off the floor, coming to hands and knees. Big toes together, knees wide apart. You're gonna walk those hands down, child's pose. So fingers spread wide here, chest towards the floor, forehead on the floor. Sit bones towards the heels as best you can. You may notice a little bit of a difference in the hips as you fold forward in this pose. Nice deep breathing here. As you breathe in, you're gonna press those hands into the floor and slide the shoulders down, and then feel that tailbone drop towards the heels a little bit more. So you're bringing that chest closer towards the floor on each exhalation. Good. Lift the head up just a little bit. Bring the hands, palms to touch, forehead back down. Nice deep inhalation in. On that exhalation, you're drawing those hands back behind the head, just placing them on the occipital bone, fingertips pointed towards the tailbone. Nice little shoulder opener here. Breathe in between those shoulders. Good. Exhale, release down. Nice deep inhalation in. And then exhale, walk your hands back up towards the body, knees together. Good. Coming onto hands and knees. Good. Okay, so hands are underneath the shoulders or even just a little bit ahead of the shoulders. We're gonna lower down right onto our belly. And so coming into one hand on top of the other, forehead on the ground or forehead on the hands. Okay, you can kind of shift those hips back and forth, wiggling, kind of feeling into the pubic bone a little bit. We're gonna get into just some little back bends, not too intense, just opening up the shoulders a little bit, strengthening those back muscles. So again, forehead on the floor or forehead on the hand, connecting with that breath. You're gonna bring your hands right underneath your shoulders into Cobra. We're gonna do Cobra to start. So you're gonna activate your legs by pressing the thighs into the floor, pubic bone down, So you're drawing that tailbone down towards the floor as well. It's almost like you're squeezing the sit bones. Okay, nice deep inhalation in. On that exhalation, you're gonna lift the chest up. Just the chest. Head and neck, chest. Squeeze the sit bones. Yeah, squeeze the sit bone. Yeah, that's right. Okay, you're gonna also squeeze the shoulders back. So you feel that chest lift a little bit more. Option 1, stay here. Option 2, fly out the hands. Hold. Squeeze those shoulder blades back. So fly out the hands, but also draw the elbows back towards the sit bones. Okay, so you're really strengthening those shoulder blades. Good. Exhale, release down. Nice deep breath in. Exhale, side out. Bringing your hands just by the upper ribs, rib cage area. Doesn't have to necessarily be the low ribs or the up ribs, just by the ribs. Upward facing dog. So you're gonna activate those legs, press that pubic bone back down, nice deep inhalation in, and then exhale, press into the hands, lift the belly up. So that whole torso comes up. And then once you're there, you're gonna press into your hands, take the tops of the shoulders back, lift the chest through the arms. Good. Head and neck looking straight ahead. You can also look up as long as the neck is healthy, stretching the throat. As you do that, try not to like lean your head back. You have to keep it active still. So you're still pressing into those arms, shoulders back, neck is long. Good, beautiful. Bring that neck down. Keep that pose. Look over your right shoulder. Okay, bring it back to center. Look over your left shoulder. Bring it back to center. Exhale, chaturanga, arms down. So you're squeezing those elbows in, slowly lowering down. Good. One hand on top of the other. Forehead down. Nice deep inhalation in. Exhale, side out. Beautiful. All right, Superman. We are going to bring our arms down by our sides. On that inhalation, you're going to lift your legs and your arms at the same time. So lift one leg, stretch it back. Then lift the other leg, stretch it back. Engage the thighs. Press the pubic bone down. Nice deep inhalation in. And then exhale, lift the legs, lift the arms like you're flying through the sky. Superman. Lift, lift, lift. Keep lifting. Lift those limbs. Breathe. Beautiful. Exhale down. One hand on top of the other. Nice deep inhalation in. Exhale, side out. Good. Then just take your hands, press them into the floor, and press into the knees. Lift yourself back up. Right into, we're going to do a rounded resting child's pose. Knees together, arms down by your sides, forehead towards the floor. Now, if this is too much for the shoulders, one hand on top of the other, forehead down. But we're rounding the spine. Again, too much for the knees wide apart. Torso comes in between those legs. Nice deep breath. Good, nice deep inhalation in. Use your hands. Exhale, roll up one vertebrae at a time. Head and neck to come up last. Good. Cross those. So come onto your hands and knees, cross the ankles. And then you're just going to push yourself back onto your sit bones. Shoot your legs out in front of you. And then we're going to roll back. So you're going to roll down one vertebrae at a time. And then you're laying on your back, hugging your knees into your chest, rocking those hips from side to side if needed, massaging that low back. or you can stay still, whatever you choose. Nice deep inhalation in. Exhale, side out. Holding on to that right knee, extending that left leg out. Okay, I kind of have a super cool stretch that I love, but don't do a lot or haven't done yet. So it's super fun. But your first stretch. So we extended the left leg, but we're gonna bend it back up, and you're gonna try something for me tonight. You're gonna reach for that. You're gonna bring that left leg in as far as you can, so you can reach this left foot with the right hand. Okay. So opposite hand, opposite foot. Okay. Listen carefully. You're gonna hold on to that foot, and then you're just gonna drop that left leg down. I feel like everyone's laughing, but you're gonna feel a stretch in that front hip flexor, that ASXOS. Woo, it's lovely. And you're gonna just laugh a little bit, okay? So even if it didn't drop down very much and you're right here, that's okay. You're just gonna slowly, with that breath, release it down. You can kind of pull that foot in a little bit too, especially if you're like, oh, this is the first time we're doing it online. So bear with me, I feel for you. I can't run around and adjust you or help you. So again, wiggle that foot, or if it's just not doable for you, please let me know, because I haven't done this one with you guys yet, and it's such a beautiful stretch. I was trying to find ways, because we don't have I don't use walls on my yoga or anything, so trying to find ways to stretch out your psoas muscles a little bit more, versus just sitting on the heels all the time or camel and stuff. So anyways, I found this one. Let me know what you think. Nice deep breath in. Exhale, side out. Release that left. But you can pick it back up and just bend that knee. Okay. You're gonna extend it out. You're gonna grab onto your right knee with the left hand. Right hand. Right arm comes out from the shoulder. Nice deep inhalation in. And then exhale, you're going to twist to the left with that right hip. You can take your head and neck to look over your right arm. And definitely just gaze at your right arm. Make sure that it is in line with that shoulder. It kind of tends to just do its own thing. Surprisingly, just when we think, oh, it's right there. It's not. Good, nice deep inhalation in, bringing it back to center, hugging that right knee into the chest, pressing out through both heels, getting some length there, feeling the tailbone, pressing into the ground, feel that lumbar spine lengthening along the floor. Nice deep inhalation in. Exhale, release that right leg, and inhale the left leg up towards the chest. So you're hugging that left leg in now. All right, here's our psoas stretch. To bend that right knee, you're going to grab that right foot. You can place the right foot on the floor, and then you can reach with your left hand with that and grabbing onto that right foot. Then when you're there, you just nicely, slowly release that leg down. Okay. As best as you can. Again, you can kind of wiggle your foot in towards the sit bones a little bit more. You're holding onto the left leg with the right hand. Again, just somewhat stable or somewhat together. But you're feeling that stretch through that front quad. Woo. It's a good one. Breathing into that stretch. And this is such a tight muscle for, I don't know, all humans. It's not one in particular. All of us have this tight muscle. It's all of us. We all struggle with it, I feel like. We all probably are somewhat feeling this. But breathe. Such a good stretch to release those hips and just open up the frontal of our legs. Circulation and blood flow through that area. At any point you need to come out, come out. Good. One more nice deep inhalation in. And then exhale. Pull that leg back up so that you place the foot on the floor and then extend the leg out, okay? Just to protect that ankle joint. Now, and then nice deep inhalation in, hug that left leg into the chest. Right hand comes onto the left leg. Exhale, twisting over. So you're bringing that left arm down on the floor from the shoulder. So that left shoulder stays on the floor, looking out over your left hand. If it's comfortable, pressing up through both feet, feeling that stretch in the low back, outer hip. Good, nice deep ventilation in. Exhale, come back to center. Hug that left knee in. Feel that length through the back side of the body. So you're pressing out through both heels. Feel that length through the right leg. Tailbone pressing into the floor. Lumbar spine into the ground. Shoulders pressing down. Hug that knee into the chest. Hug that knee. Sorry. Bring your right knee into the chest. And then hug both knees one more time. If there's any last stretch you need to do, if you wanted to do a happy baby where you're grabbing the insides of the feet and then dropping those knees outside of the torso, then you can. You just want to extend your legs and go straight into Shavasana. Absolutely. And exhale, release any pose that you're in. And when you're ready, getting ready for Shavasana. Extending the legs along the ground. Hands, palms face up, just down by your sides. If you're wearing glasses, removing your glasses. Shifting those shoulders underneath the back. Shifting the hips, kind of wiggling them out. Sit bones. They're nice and heavy here. Nice deep inhalation in. Exhale, side out. Let go. Go of the practice. The moments before this moment. Let yourself just be here. Letting go of expectations. Relaxing the facial muscles. Letting go of the whole body. Finding that stillness. quietness within. Bring yourself back into the space. Point your toes, fingers, stretching in any way. You need to stretch. Bending the knees, placing the soles of the feet on the floor. Going to your right or left side. Right side for relaxation, left side for energy. Bottom arm alongside the ear for head support. Top arm alongside the body to keep the heart open. Keeping those eyes closed. When you're ready, using that top hand to push yourself up to a comfortable seated position. Keeping the eyes closed. Your hands in front of your heart. And allowing that energy shift in the body to balance itself out. Feeling that stillness again and that quietness. Rubbing the hands together, keeping the eyes closed. Bring your hands over your eyes. Nice deep inhalation in. And then exhale, sigh it out. Your eyes in your hands. Rubbing the face, waking yourself back up. Thanks for joining me tonight. I hope you enjoyed. May be happy, may be healthy, and may be loved. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thanks so much, everyone. I'll just stop recording here.
Thanks, Lexi.
Oh, you're welcome.